Hi there, folks. Mitch Bradshaw here. I've been getting a lot of questions from friends about these jaw jackers. Also, been seeing a lot of questions on the forums that I'm on. So I just wanted to do a quick review on these and put in my 2 cents on them. These jaw jackers have been out for I think 3 or 4 years now, but they are just starting to become really widespread and really talked about thanks to the internet. And I think they are a great useful tool to have in the ice fishing world. I used them before, but I just finally purchased my first two early on this year, and I've given them a pretty good workout this winter with a lot of success. So I just wanted to share my opinions on that with you guys.
First things first, this is how they're transported. This is how they come. So the first thing you're going to want to do are pull these pins here. This one pulls out. That one pulls out. This is just on a slider here. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is put the pin in here and set it. You have three options here, and that is depending on the length of your rod and the action of your rod, so you can give it a good bow. You can kind of play with it and fine tune it. I'd say most of the time on a 28-inch rod I use the middle one, so that's where I'll put it in. So that rests right there, simple enough. And now you can remove these arms here. They just swing out like so. And then they have these little picks here. That's just to kind of give it a little bit more traction. So, angle those down. And then from here, you have 7 different slots on where you can put this second and remaining pin. And you can use that to, you can fine tune that, and that is kind of meant for rod length. So for longer rods, I usually put it at the last one. Slide it in like so. And okay, now you're ready to fish. So when picking a rod to use for this product, you can really use anything. I've kind of done the small panfish jigs tipped with euro larvae or waxworms or mealworms, and I've also used big spoons and hung shiners, suckers, crappie minnows, what have you. So I'd recommend doing a few different things and seeing what works for you. So for this one, let's maybe go up and set.
Ideally, what I'd use with this setup would be a minnow of sorts. Here in Colorado, there's a lot of bait restrictions, so I pretty much always wind up using dead minnows. So I'd either throw a minnow head on here or a minnow and have it sit vertical, or if you're in many of the other states that don't have live bait restrictions, you can throw on, a crappie minnow, fathead minnow, hook it through the dorsal fin and let it swim, and it'll entice the fish in itself.
So these are what you go tie around your rod tip to activate to the trigger mechanism. Jaw Jacker gives you 2 of these, as well as 2 little panfish jigs that come with each product. It recommends that you wrap it around your rod tip. I've come to notice that a lot of the St. Croix and Frables that I have a little notch right in the top eyelet, so I just thread it through that. Makes it easy to take out, easy to remove. Let's see if we can get that little notch there. I just put it through and voila. So now you're set up. I've heard some negative reviews about these things. In the cold, sometimes they can be tough to wrap around your eyelids. That's why I like to do it this way. It's just a lot easier, more manageable for me. I've heard of also other people using any kind of braid that they have, tying a loop and just leaving it permanently on the rod tip. So that's also a good idea that I've heard.
Okay, to set this up here, you put the rod handle like so. Put any type of bait on your hook. I have waxies at the helm right now, so I'm just going to throw one of these on. Okay. You're going to want to go ahead and get your lure in whatever depth of water you'd like to target the fish in. I'm pretty shallow right now. Alright, so what you do now is take that loop end, put it on that little hook right there, drop the lever mechanism. Now the lever is held by this bar here. There's a little knob on the side here to adjust the tension. If you're going after, predator species, lake trout, rainbows, browns, pike, bass, walleye, you can set that tension pretty high so that the fish really has to take it for the trigger to be ignited. Or if you're fishing panfish, crappies, perch, if they have light bite going on, you can loosen that up so that as soon as it gets touched, it activates. So I set the trigger like that, take your line here, put it through that thread, and now you're activated and ready to go.
So now when a fish comes by, sees your bait, takes it and runs with it, depending on how you have your tension set, it is activated. The fish is on there fighting already, so that when you hear that specific noise, you can run over and the fish should be there, letting you reel it in on a rod and reel. Now that's a lot of fun for when you put it in place of tip-ups for walleyes or bass or pike. It's a lot more fun to fight them on a rod and reel, my personal opinion, than hand lining in 50-pound braid. So just a great alternative, and I think when it's working, there's no better way to kind of cover some ground. Oh, how about that? Right, so you just remove that, and there you go. There's what you got. Nice colored rainbow. Hooked right in the top of the mouth. Get him back in the water, he's melting.
If you are watching this review right now and you'd like to see 2 short videos on the jawjacker catching more fish, you can click on either of the links provided. The link on the bottom left side of the screen is of my very first fish on the jawjacker, which just so happened to be a nice northern pike from my cabin in western Wisconsin. And the link on the bottom right side of the screen is of my twin 3-year-old nephews. They were catching a bass while using a jawjacker.
I'm not affiliated at all with jawjacker or seeing any compensation for this. I'm just a fellow ice fisherman like yourselves, and I kind of like to see what the latest and greatest are out there. These have a lot of buzz around them this year. I know a lot of the local shops can't even keep them on the shelves because they're flying off so quickly, and I honestly think they're great. They're not that expensive. I feel like they're well made. They hold up quite a few seasons. You can definitely get your money's worth, and a great alternative to tip-up fishing and dead stick fishing. So I hope if you're someone that has one of these that maybe doesn't get a lot of use, hopefully you see this and bring it on the ice with you and at least give it a try. Or if you're someone looking to maybe add this to your ice fishing arsenal, hopefully you learned a thing or two from me and this quick review. So I appreciate you all tuning in and signing out.